peoples, my peoples. Welcome to a brand new episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing. That's what we do, my peoples. Sai, salute, my brother. Bam, Superman in the building. What's the deal, my G? Y'all know how we do it. Y'all know how we do it, my peoples. We gotta talk this boxing nice and early, a healthy dosage. You're about to get it. So let me see the first comment from Sai. Who do you think Boost fights next? The Lima fight was a showcase fight. He needs a real fight now. So, who does he fight next? That's a great question. First, when it comes to the Lima fight, we all know Boost was making his debut in the 154 division. Tune up. What's next? I would say, and this is an assumption, obviously, that Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots Ennis is next. Why? Simple. What did Boots say right after the fight? I want that action. He said he wants all of them, but he specifically mentioned Virgil. He mentioned Xander Size. He said, "I want to. If you got a belt, I'm going after you." He was very specific about that. Taking into account that Oscar De La Hoya has expressed interest in making that fight, Virgil has expressed interest in that fight, Boots has said he wants that fight. I think that's what we're gonna get. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz. That's how I see it happening. Superman, yes, he'll fight a boss. Let's see. Let's see. I expect Virgil Ortiz to win his next fight. Lubin is going to be a tough opponent. He can fight. I still expect Virgil to come out on top. And let's see. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see, because it's business, it's politics. There's a lot of factors in play. So sometimes we want this fight, but certain things get in the way of it happening. I think that it's we don't need that fight to be built up anymore. Um, Obviously, we wanted to see it at 147. It couldn't happen. Virgil couldn't stay in the division for health reasons. So now they're both at 154. They both have some fight experience in that division. We ready for that fight. It doesn't need to be marinated anymore. So hopefully they can come to an agreement and make it happen next. That's how I see it. Superman, I prefer the Virgil fight too. Come on now. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. There's a few fighters in the division that I'd be happy to see in the ring with Boots. Virgil Ortiz, Sebastian Fondora, Xander Sayers, and Bakram Murtasaliev. I take those four fights. I'm not saying that those are the only good fights. I like Boots versus Jamal Charlo. I'll take that. Oh, wait a minute. I think what's going on, by the way, my peoples, with Jermel Charlo versus Errol Spence? Isn't that fight supposed to be happening, or that's not happening? I could have sworn that supposedly was, but I'm not seeing anything about it. Superman, yes, sir. I gotta say, my peoples, the way that Boots is getting hate is reminiscent of what Terrence Crawford was going through in the welterweight division. When all the big guns, all the guys with the belts didn't want to fight him, he was frozen out. Nobody trying to get in there with him. And he was getting all the hate. Remember that? Oh, he didn't beat nobody. Oh, he ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing. He was already accomplished. Yeah, he didn't beat nobody. So look at Boost now. Unified champion in the welterweight division. Goes to 154 to make his debut. Oh, he didn't beat nobody. He ain't done nothing. Dang. Side, I honestly think Boost can beat them all, but I hope Eddie moves him right. Look, If you watched the post-fight presser, and even right after the fight, the post-fight interview, Eddie Hearn made it clear we going after everybody. And I tell you what, I'm pretty sure he's confident in Boots, because that's the one thing. If your promoter is confident that you can win this fight, he come on, he's gonna let it be known, and he's gonna say, let's make it. But let me just point out, that's why I think that this fight can happen sooner rather than later, because Oscar De La Hoya also believes in Virgil Ortiz. You see? So when you have two promoters who both believe their guy's gonna win the fight, it can be made. Y'all can make that fight. So, but again, there's a lot of factors in play. There's a lot of politics, a lot of behind the scenes negotiations. So we don't know if that fight can actually be made. That's the reality of it. You don't know if you're from the outside looking in, you don't know that a fight can be made until it is made. Period, point blank. We're not on the inside. I don't have inside information. COE films. Somebody could be still blowing smoke. That, you see? That's what I'm talking about. But I tell you what, I know for a fact that Boots is about that smoke. I know for a fact that Virgil is about that smoke. So if it's up to them two, I feel like the fight is happening. But there's a lot of factors in play, like I said. So look, let me tell you guys something. And this is crazy. This is crazy, my peoples. Boxing on paper. Former UFC fighter Molly McCann just won her debut fight in 122, signed under Matchroom. Ellie Scotney is the undisputed champ at that weight. Do you think Molly should get a title shot soon? I don't know, man. I don't know. I think she has to fight her way up. If she earns it, I think she has to earn it, like anyone else. Meatball Molly is in boxing. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. My people, let me put you on. Look what happened yesterday. Superman. We have to consider those factors. We do. Of course we do. Sad. She wasn't good in UFC. Are you saying she's going to be Meatball Molly in boxing too? But listen, my people, let me put you on. The unexpected happened yesterday, right? So, you guys know that we've been talking about how Boots is getting all this hate over a tune-up, and people trying to diminish his resume, diminish everything he's done, and it is what it is. When you have that level of talent, you're going to have the haters. And we've been talking about that, posting about that, debating, going back and forth. Yesterday, I get a call out of nowhere. Boo! Bozy Ennis. I look at it for a second, and it's on IG, it's on Messenger, on IG, on DM. And I look at it, I say, Bozy? Pick up the phone, pick up the call. I'm like, yo, what's up, Bozy? And he went right into it, my peoples. Like, if you would have listened to this conversation, you would have thought me and Bozy been talking on the phone for years. He was like, yo, Jay, listen, in the welterweight division, man, we was trying to get those fights. And they ducked. They wasn't having it. They didn't want to fight us. And now 154, we going after all of them. We trying to get all of them. We trying to get all the belts. And I just asked him one question, my peoples. He was headed to the gym. I asked him one question. I was like, yo, Bozy, with that destruction of Wisma Lima, is it gonna be, you think it's gonna be harder to get those fights, or people not gonna want to get in the ring with Boots? And he was like, I hope not, because we trying to get all of them. We trying to get all of them. And I believe it. If you think about it, their objective in the welterweight division was to become undisputed. That was the objective. Politics got in the way. Simple as that. That happens in boxing. But if you're watching the way that they moving, unified titles at the welterweight division now at 154, what do you think they're gonna do? What you think they're gonna you think Boost is just gonna hover around and not go for titles? Side, I wouldn't mind Boost versus Thurman. That's a good fight, but Thurman got to get past Fondora. By the way, they're targeting now that fight for possibly a undercard or a co-main to a Manny Pacquiao fight. I read something about that. Superman, yes, absolutely. It was an onslaught of punches, punches and bunches. But again, what is next? What's gonna happen next? Are we gonna be able to get the fights that we want? COE Films should have asked him, why didn't they take the money from Turkey? You know, that would have been a good question to ask Bozy, but it was real quick, my brother. We spoke for 4 minutes. It was a 4-minute conversation. He was headed to the gym, and yo, he just hit me up to let me know they trying to go for everything. They try. I heard it from the horse's mouth. They trying to get everything. Superman can't fight others like Lima, Bean, Kidney, String, Bean. Bro, that was a tune-up though, man. Why y'all gotta go so hard on the tune-up like that? That's it. What? Look, what did he say right after the fight? Pretty much called out everybody. So I like Bozy. He keep it real. Nah, Bozy a real one, yo. Bozy a real one. I'm trying to tell you. When I picked up that call, there was no little side talking, no little beating around the bush. He went straight into it. So I appreciate it, yo. Salute to Bozy, Boots. They know what it is. They know what's good. Superman. Nothing was tuned in that fight. He could have fought again by Friday. Oh, now Boots could fight again today. He can fight again today. But it is what it is, man. I'm going to be honest. Me, myself, before the fight, I would have been like, yo, Boots, let's take this guy, like, let's take him at least 6, 7 rounds, just in case. If he get hurt or something, hold on. And let's take him 6, 7 rounds. You know. But Boots, he played too much, man. He played too much. Finished it quick. Got rid of him. So, if you was thinking about, I want to fight this guy, I could beat this guy, yo, that make you hesitate. Damn, do I want to eat those type of shots? Do I want to eat that type of leather? So, J Max, salute, my brother. Bam. COE Films. Turkey can make the fights happen. Fondora hand could heal, and he be ready to fight around time. Boost ready again. Just saying. So, what I think is going to happen with Fondora and Keith Thurman is that that's simply going to be rescheduled. That fight doesn't look to be canceled. So, we can't match up Fondora with somebody else when he got Keith right in front of him. I believe, based on what I've seen thus far, I believe that fight is still happening. It's just going to be pushed to a new date. Superman, to at least test yourself, and make yourself feel the weight or whatever. And that's what I'm saying, though. He got his tune-up in at 154, and right away called out all the big dogs, which, by the way, something I forgot to mention earlier. I also said to Bozy, my only question was whether or not Boost was going to bring his power to the 154 division. And it was like, oh, we already knew that. We already knew that. He be sparring with heavyweights. He be sparring with bigger guys and hurting them in the gym. We already knew that. So they was not surprised. But me, I ain't seen that. I don't know what's going on. I'm on the outside looking in. I'm like, okay, let me see what he gonna do. Now we know. We know he got the power. Now he gotta step in there with the boys. Side, Eddie still mentioning TC got me looking at them sideways though. It's going on Manny Rolly undercard. There you go. See? Gonna be on the undercard. So that fight's still happening. Let's not match up, Fundora or Keith with nobody else. They got each other. They dance partners. Look, I'm gonna say this. My expectations are that Boots is either gonna go, try to make that fight with Virgil first. Bozy and them, they're gonna try to make that fight with Virgil first after he gets that W over Lubin. And if they can't make that fight for whatever reason, they're gonna go after somebody who's very highly ranked. It ain't gonna be, a tune-up, something that you would consider a tune-up. It's gonna be a highly ranked opponent. But we know how it goes. If it's a highly ranked opponent who's not so, damn, this dog, man, this dog is playing with me. This Chihuahua over here, yo, I'm gonna beat your ass, man. I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna beat your ass. Virgil gonna lose against Lubin. Nah, I don't see that happening. Look, Lubin can fight. I respect him. He throw hands. But nah, Virgil's not gonna lose to him. This is not gonna happen. This is the case of the young, hungry lion fighting the skilled vet. The young, hungry lion is gonna take it. COE Films. Fighters like Booz have the skill set and power. It's time for Booz to ditch the promoters and get these fight while the iron is hot. Eddie talking good to them still. I mean, but I don't understand why you have that perspective. Under Eddie Hearn, Booz's popularity has exploded. He's fighting under sold out venues. He's already a unified champion in the welterweight division, campaigning at 154, had it for title bound. I don't know. COE Films, look, you don't like Eddie Hearn. Let's be real. You don't like Eddie Hearn. Boots is one of the most popular fighters in boxing. And you don't like the opponent selection. You're saying he got to ditch Eddie Hearn. But look at Tank Davis' selection. You see Tank Davis' opponent selection. You're not saying that Tank Davis got to ditch his promoter. Why not? Why you not saying Tank got to ditch Al? You see? You see how the energy changes? So you don't like Eddie, bro. He's doing a great job with Boots. Boots is a big-ass star, bro. When you talk about the stars of boxing, Boo's name is gonna come up, and he's right there. When he get a big name in front of him, he's gonna go from star to superstar. They got him, and he's 28 years old. They got him on the right track. Jason Williams, I think Eddie caps a lot, but aside from that, he's cool. I mean, look, I think you feel that way because Eddie Hearn is a guy who he talks that talk. He talks that talk, but you have to understand, he's bringing in the results. If you're, look, Eddie Hearn is developing champions, signing guys coming off of the amateurs, building champions. Yo, Matchroom has a program for you to be cocky about. Their boxing, their roster is crazy. They have a pool of fighters in all age groups. So, you know, shit. Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, they doing their thing. Superman, we don't like Eddie for sure. Eddie be wildin'. He getting the money from Ennis. Ennis getting the money too. Eddie knows the fights are over there with turkey and cheese. with turkey and cheese. Come on, man. That's his friend too. Jason Williams. Eddie's job is to finesse, so he has to cap. I mean, come on. The first time we heard Tank Davis was the face of boxing, it was from Leonard Ellaby. Leonard Ellaby's the one that started, Tank is the face of boxing, Tank is the face of boxing. And he made it so. They made it so. COE film. Under Eddie, he's fighting guys with no swag. That's opinion, bro. Eddie cool for prospects. I said Tank need to leave out PBC protection, and Tank is cool with it. Superman, Eller be the worst. But that's the thing. The guy that you may consider the worst may be one of the best. Because he's out there using all these different tactics to promote their fighters, and it works. Because they either make us happy, they make us mad, but we talking about them. Leonard Ellaby had a run where for some time he was the guy that we was talking the most about. Whether you were saying something good or something bad. Leonard Ellaby had a crazy run. But I think he took a L when he went against Eddie Hearn. He took a nasty L with that one. Because I'm going to remind y'all, he did say, we fight on Showtime. They fight on the app. We ain't going to fight on no little app. You crazy? We on Showtime. And now they're on Amazon Prime on the app. Jason Williams. Ellaby is back capping for Tank. But I told you, man, when we feel like they capping, they doing a great job. We talking about it, right? Salute to Atlanta Ellaby, man. He been doing his thing. Real talk. COE Films. Crawford left Top Rank and been getting big fights and has become the biggest star without a promoter. See, this is what you have to understand. Everybody's not Terrence Crawford, my G. You gotta understand, COE Films, that there's fighters who left their promoters and hung out to dry. They ain't getting no fights. You cooked. So you have to understand, everybody not Terrence Crawford, my guy. You mentioning the greatest fighter in the world. You mentioning the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You mentioning the most accomplished fighter. Go ahead. Look, I'm going to put it to you like this, COE Films. Name one fighter who isn't a big star or who's a big star but did it by themselves. Because that's what you don't understand. Terrence Crawford needed Top Rank to build a name for himself. Top Rank builds stars consistently. They built him before he could say, now I'm me, let me go. That's what you don't understand. They build stars. Go ahead. You're saying you could just go by yourself and do you. Name one guy, one, that you know that's a star now who did it by himself, who was just independent and did his thing and became a big star. Take your time, my G. COE Films. You do know Turkey said that he went to Boost for bigger fights, but they declined to take tune-ups. Okay. You saying tune-ups in plural? I think you probably did hear Boost calling out all the big guns after this fight. But I think we all know that they decided on taking the tune-up and then going for the big guns, making his debut at 154. That's perfectly normal. I mean, we watched Canelo Alvarez take a tune-up before fighting Terrence Crawford. And we didn't have a problem with it. The face of boxing took a tune-up. Come on. Not a big deal. Guy's 28 years old. Side. Bro said butts Ennis. Hackman. Top Rank cherry picking who they will make a star. COE Films. Bulls have 30 plus fights. What are we doing? So Hackman, I'm not sure how you decide what they cherry picking, how you came up with that. I'm not aware of any cherry picking. I think that the most talented guys usually become stars. Superman, side. No, butts in seats guy, the man Ellerby. He was saving it about putting butts in seats. Superman, he got beat up. It happens. It happens. Jason Williams. Booth said he taking over 154. I'm here to see it. Hopefully, he puts in that work. And that's what I'm talking about, though. How does a guy take one tune-up in a division that he's moving up to, and he's being absolutely crucified for it? That's crazy. That doesn't make sense to me, my people. How could that even be possible? You crucify a guy for doing one tune-up? Hackman, Bud did better when he left. Of course he did better when he left, but he had to build a name before he can leave. Somebody built a star that allowed him to leave and do better. It's as simple as that. Top Rank has been building stars since before any of us was even following boxing, babe. You don't understand that Muhammad Ali was signed to Top Rank. Most of the greatest fighters, Oscar De La Hoya was signed to Top Rank. Like, go back and see, my people. Top Rank been building stars. That's what you don't understand. The promotional machine. You could say, oh, you can leave and go do better somewhere else. Of course, but you need a name to go do better somewhere else. If you don't got a name, when you leave, your ass gonna be left in limbo. Y'all haven't seen fighters leave a promotional outfit and then be like this? Looking for a home because it ain't work out like you thought it would independent. That happens in boxing, my people. Trust me when I tell you, it happens. Superman, this is true about Top Rank. Hackman, Floyd already put them on notice. Toy Mafia, yo, Jason Williams, Top Rank has a long history. Some great, some not great. I mean, if you're a promoter, you're not gonna have, everybody be great, right? But still, Top Rank has been building stars since most of us, or probably none of us, was watching boxing. Because a lot of us is not old enough to have watched Ali, like actually watch the fights. COE Films, they say he's next, but Ball has fought 18 plus title fights. Real dog. Like I told you, my brother, when you don't like somebody, you're only gonna focus about a negative angle. That's what you're not understanding. Boots is 28 years old. He's already a unified champion in one division and in his second one. Go see where Crawford was at 28 years old. That was 10 years ago. He was accomplished, multi-division champion, but he's not the guy that he's now. 10 years ago, COE Films, you was probably saying he ain't beat nobody, he ain't done nothing. 10 years ago, people were saying about Crawford the same things you're saying about him today. I want you to let that sizzle in your spirit, COE Film. The same things you saying about Boots right now, you may have been saying about Terrence Crawford 10 years ago. He ain't fight nobody. He ain't done nothing. Remember, Terrence Crawford is 38. 10 years ago, he would have been 28. The same age Boots is right now. So I want you, if COE feels you're saying you have the same energy, I want you to remember what they were saying about Crawford 10 years ago and compare it to what you saying about Boots right now. They were the same exact age. And you realize that you're doing the same thing that they did to Crawford. That's it. I'm not comparing accomplishments. What I'm trying to tell you is that Boots already accomplished, and you're saying the same things that they said about Crawford when he was 28. That he didn't fight nobody, that he ain't done nothing. In this conversation, you bring in the accomplishments. But in how many conversations he didn't beat nobody and he ain't done nothing? We still get that today in 2025. Side, Eddie stayed throwing shade and cloud, chasing at the same time. It's disgusting. Damn, you really don't like Eddie Hearn. I'm gonna tell you, my guy, right now, whether you agree with it or not, Eddie Hearn is one of the best promoters in the game. He's one of the most successful promoters in the game. He's one of the promoters that's putting up the most events. Like him or not, the guy's working and giving us fights. A lot of them. A lot of fights. See what you feel? I'm talking about me. My energy is the same. Turkey presented the opportunity, my guy. You're missing the point. I'm not missing the point at all. I'm telling you that it's all about circumstances. Turkey wasn't even in boxing when Crawford was coming up. What are you saying there? That Turkey should have went back in time and Crawford should have signed with him and left Bob Arum when he was 25 years old? Like, what are you saying? What is the point? Turkey came into boxing when Crawford was in his mid-30s. I shall remind you that Turkey literally just joined boxing the other day. There's no point in bringing him up. Turkey joined boxing after Crawford had already left from Top Rank, bro. You understand that? So there's no point of that. Son, I won't disagree with that, Jay Smith. Just the way Eddie Hearn goes about his promotion. I actually enjoy it. That's why there's a difference of opinion. Give me a second, my peoples. Let me grab a little bite to eat right quick. My peoples, to those of you tuning in, y'all already know, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. I got some little wheat bread, some eggs, some cheese, a little lemonade. If you're having breakfast at this time, enjoy it. If you're not, whatever it is that you're doing, good morning, my people. So again, we have to look. My stomach is growing. So again, we have to look at the results instead of our personal opinion. Okay, if you don't like somebody, that's cool. You don't have to like them. But let's just look at results. These guys have been putting together championship fights, putting together big fights every year. Come on, my peoples. Jason Williams, gotta have breakfast while doing boxing for breakfast. Come on, it's boxing for breakfast, right? I mean, this is boxing for breakfast. Can a nigga eat? Please? Because I am hungry. So, when we talk about the most successful promoters, whether you like them or not, regardless of the opinion, there's Oscar De La Hoya, Bob Arum, Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren from Queensbury, doing his thing. Salita's promotion, they doing their thing. And there's a few others. Al Heyman, of course, for the PBC, they done their thing for the last X amount of time. They're the people who have given us the most fight over the course of the last 10 years. And I say 10 years because, some of them came later. But Top Rank has been around for how long? Doing it. COE Films, nah. You have to look at the facts if you're going to talk. So those are not facts that I'm talking about. Those are not the promoters that are doing the most shows, that are like What facts am I like? What am I saying? That's not a fact. And don't skip over fire. I've been saying, you picking like Boots now. Damn, man, you became a Boots hater. Cameron Terrell, facts. Mm. COE Films. Let me ask you a question. Maybe you could help me understand this. Whatever Boots got paid, whatever he got paid, he got it in 2 minutes of action. Cameron Terrell, I appreciate it. Whatever Boots got paid, he got it in what, 2 minutes of action? So he got it back real quick. Light work, right? So why is it that you celebrate Tank Davis fighting an exhibition fight, which is meaningless, it's not going into box rec or nothing, an exhibition? You support that because he's getting a bag. Oh, he's getting a bag. We would all do the same thing too. So you support him getting the bag in an exhibition, but you can't support Boots getting a little bag for light work, quick 2 minutes? But you can't support that because you don't like him. You already became his hater, so you're always gonna find a negative angle. That's simple. That's easy to see. Why we gotta celebrate this guy getting the bag, but we mad at this guy for getting the bag? I can't figure that out on my own. That's all I'm saying. The letter M. You got the voice that I don't want laughing at me. Nah, but I wouldn't laugh at you. I don't laugh at people. Marie De Bruyne. Why do they hate Boots? I don't understand. And out of nowhere, I see Haney haters turn into Haney lovers. Very weird, these fans. Listen, Marie, the hate for Boots is insane. Insane. If you look at the fact that he's only 28 years old, it's like, yo, people acting like this guy is 35 and never fought nobody. Why you don't give that same energy to Tank Davis? He's 30. He's 2 years older than Boots. You're not asking him to fight the best. You don't have a problem with him doing an exhibition show. So what's the problem? Better yet, what if Boots bring a guy from the 147 division to fight him at 154? You're going to have a problem with that? Because Roach did move up to 135 to fight Tank. COE Films. Nah, I'm not a hater, bro. You can't deny that Turkey didn't offer this man big fights. The fact, ask yourself why. I don't celebrate Tank. Jake, bro, don't do me like that. I hate that fight. No, you don't celebrate a COE Films. But you know there's a lot of people celebrating and like, yo, Tank is getting the bag. He getting the money. Which is true. He getting the bag and getting the money. But why Boots can't get the little bag in a quick tune-up? Why Tank could get the bag and Boots can't? So this guy, he could get the bag because he's going to give us an explosive knockout. This guy gives us a first-round obliteration of his opponent. He can't get the bag, though. Boo's going to do it in beautiful fashion every time out. But he can't get the bag. We got to knock him. No, he can't get no tune-up. We're going to crucify him. I don't understand for the life of me the hate that he getting. Side, If Boots don't fight Virgil or Champ next at 154, I'm on his neck. No excuses. God damn. Bro, but I think you're already on his neck. What you talking about? I will say, I expect them to go straight to work and go right after one of the big guns. Cause I'm telling you, I heard it from the horse's mouth. You you don't get a call like that. Good morning to everybody tuning in. Another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning, my peoples. Yesterday, Bozy Ennis gave me a surprise call. And when I say a surprise call, I'm talking about I was just sitting in my living room and my shit just rang on DM, and it was Bozy. And he went straight to telling me straight up, like, there was no beating around the bush, no pleasantries. They were like, yo, what's up, Jay? Yo, listen, they wasn't trying to fight us at 147. They was ducking. And we trying to get all this smoke out. We trying to get everything at 154. We trying to get it all. Told me straight up, so I heard it from the horse's mouth, my peoples. I'm not just telling you what I think. I'm trying to tell you what Bozy told me straight up. We going for every team. That's it. Christopher, what's up, brother? Salute, my G. Bam. Jason Williams. Top of the morning, Hydro Grind. Wait a minute, my brother, the Hydro Grind is in the building. Or is Boost at a stage where he should be fighting the big guys already? I mean, I think based off of his recent fight, I only had one question. And I told this to Bozy. I said, Bozy, my only question about Boots is whether or not he was going to carry his power to 154. And you know what he told me? Oh, now we already knew that. We be sparring heavyweights. We be sparring big guys, and Boots be hurting them in the gym. We already knew that. So the power that we now know he has at 154 and the skill set, it's only a matter of time, my people, before he grab a belt and before he unify. And we're gonna see the hate. Oh, but you know, he didn't win it the right way, or he didn't do this, or there's always gonna be hate. There's always gonna be an angle to hate on him. The guy that he fought wasn't right at the time. His mental state was different. His girlfriend dumped him. I don't know what y'all gonna come up with. Yo, if Boots, if Boots beat Virgil, COE Films, you're gonna be like, nah, Virgil's girlfriend probably dumped him that week. And, you know, he smoked a blunt for the first time that morning and he just wasn't right that day. You're gonna come up with something why Virgil lost. Superman, Tank of Philly, I see it too. Let's give him a chance. Look, man, Jerome Boots Ennis is already shown that he's a special fighter. You're gonna offer pushback trying to hate on him. You see the Canelo fans? How they looking right now? Y'all gonna be looking like that. Y'all gonna be looking like Canelo fans. I'm trying to tell you, my people. Some of you gonna end up looking like Canelo fans. I gotta say, there's multiple fighters that I'd like to see in the ring with Boots. And those are, in no particular order, Sebastian Fundora, Xander Sayas, Bakram Mortasaliev, and of course, Virgil Ortiz. Chama Edit, salute. Bam. Superman, we got to give him credit if he beat the other cats. Not Abbas, though. Or the DoorDash work. Why you won't give him credit if he beat Abbas? Why you won't give him credit for that fight? Mm. So what you're saying is that he has to be a star. He has to be somebody that's famous. Not really about how good the guy is in the ring or what he brings to the table. It's about, oh well, he's not famous enough, so that don't mean nothing. So I'll give him a pass for Abbas. I'll pass. Superman. I think that's where he'd go to get an immediate belt. It'll be an easy win. I mean, let's see. They've already floated around the possibility of Virgil versus Boots early 2026. That for it to happen in early 2026, it means it would have to happen next for Boots. If it's not next, it can't happen early next year. There isn't enough time for Boots to fight somebody else and still fight Virgil early next year. What has to happen is that Virgil gets his next fight in with Lubin. They go into negotiations and fight each other, I don't know, February, March of next year. Superman. Jason. I think that's where he go to get, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's the fight that they're gonna make. Let's see how it plays out. But I do believe that there's gonna be an effort to make Boots versus Virgil. After Virgil, does his job. The Hydro Grind. Remember, Zayas is a weak link too. And I tell you what, I'd like to see Xander Zayas versus Jerome Boots Ennis. I'd like to see that fight. Um, is Xander ready for that type of action? I don't know. I don't know if he's ready for that type of action. But if he believes in himself, if his team believes in him, go get it. COE Films, Jake. That's the problem. People think these fights are here to stay. Have to strike while the iron is hot. Yoda. I have Brandon Adams beating Virgil and Boots. And I don't know. That's a tough call, fams. That's a tough call. Brandon Adams can fight, but beating Virgil and Boots? I don't know, bro. Side J. Smith. Virgil losing, bro. I mean, I have to be honest with y'all, man. I think Virgil will be a tough fight, competitive fight. I don't see him beating Boots because Boots has the tools and resources to make it kind of like Crawford versus Canelo, where you're going to see the advantage in reach, you're going to see the advantage in footwork, and then Virgil's going to be the strong opponent that's going to be coming forward, letting the hands fly. But Boots got power too. That's what you have to understand. So I know people's predicting that Virgil's gonna knock him out and all this stuff, but that's crazy work. To me, that's crazy. Zayas is just too young. Yeah, I agree. I agree. He's super young. Is he ready? I don't know. I really don't know, my people. Superman, I agree with you on that. It should be next with Ortiz. I like the Bulls versus Ortiz fight, and it don't need any more marinating. Think about it. We wanted it at 147. It couldn't happen. And in that division, remember, it's Virgil who couldn't make weight. It was for health purposes that he had to move up. So now they're at 154. Boost already got a tune up in. Virgil, I think, will be in his second fight in the division. That's it. We don't need no more marinating. Virgil versus Boots, early 2026. That's the fight to make. Make it happen. That's all I'm saying. Make it happen. Agent 17, salute, Box Center. Salute, my brother. Bam. Superman, come forward. It's tailor made most times. But that's what I'm saying, my peoples. Virgil Ortiz, he's a top notch, elite level guy. But styles make fights. So when you have the strong guy who's coming forward, and you have the guy who's a boxer puncher, who's a very slick boxer when he wants to be, and can give you those angles, it can, you know, it's going to be a problem. Like I said, because Virgil is so skilled and he got that power, it's going to be an interesting showdown. But I got Boost walking out of there with the W. Look, it could even turn into Boots' toughest fight. This is what I would say would give Virgil a chance to win that fight. If he could turn it into a slugfest. If Virgil can successfully make it into one of those phone booth type of fights, he could have a chance. If he could hurt Boots, he got a chance. But if Boots is going to box him, and he's not going to get baited into that, he putting on a clinic. It'll be competitive, but ultimately he putting on a clinic. Our Booger, salute, my brother. Bam. The Hydra Grind. Some boxers have another fighter's number. Like Kryptonite. He beats Bozic twice, but it doesn't make him a menace in the division at all. And that's 100% facts. I'm going to give you one example of that. And it's for people who've been watching boxing for some time. Vernon Forrest and Shane Mosley. When Shane Mosley was still undefeated, for his first fight with Vernon Forrest, he was the heavy favorite to win it. I felt like Forrest was a good fighter. Mosley was going to knock him out. By the fourth round, I already understood this fight was different. Forrest was putting all type of hands on Mosley, and it felt like he just had his number. You see those first 4 rounds of Tank Davis versus Lamar Roach, where it looked like Lamar Roach, damn, he got his number or something. Only thing is, Forrest was putting more hands on Mosley, buzzing him, and dominated him for the first fight, right? Now comes the rematch. Oh, yeah. For the rematch, I was like, yo, nah, Mosley gonna get him this time. He caught him by surprise. Mosley's gonna make the necessary adjustments. He's gonna get him this time. Yo, in the rematch, Forrest beat him up worse. Beat him up. And now Forrest could fight. Don't get it twisted. But then Forrest got manhandled by Mayorga. Twice. Mayorga stopped Forrest. Beat him up. That's what show you how styles make fights. Mayorga beat Forrest up. The same Forrest who dished 2 beatings to Sugar Shane Mosley. And they saw what Mosley did. He stopped him. This dude, Mayorga, Mosley stopped Mayorga. So sometimes a fighter just got your number. Forrest had Mosley's number. I feel like Lamar Roach got Tank's number. That's why I was telling you guys, if they rematch, Lamar Roach is going to win that fight. I felt like he had his number. And by the way, I want to say something, my people. Somebody hit me up. A couple of people, not somebody. I'm not saying anyone specific, right? A couple of people hit me up just to say that I'm a Tank Davis hater. Ah, Jay, you just a Tank Davis hater. You a Tank Davis hater. So let me tell you something, my peoples. That is absolutely cap. That is absolutely. Me being a Tank hater is absolutely false. And I'm gonna tell you, if you've been rocking with me long enough, you know when we talk about Tank Davis' skills and what he brings to the table, I always give him his flowers. I'm always the one to tell you, that Tank Davis is one of the best counter punches in the game. That his IQ, one of the best in the game. One of the hardest punchers, pound for pound in boxing. One of these fighters that can one shot, boom, lights out. It's Tank Davis. So I criticize him for some of the choices he makes as far as opponents, but I never question Tank Davis' skills. I never question what he's been able to do in the ring. I just, like I said, I'm going to criticize, for example, his latest move. You had Lamar Roach. You had a rematch set up with Roach. And it was very much anticipated because of how the first fight played out. So to pull out of that rematch, I don't want to hear he's going to make a lot of money. That's why I don't want to hear all that. I wanted that rematch just like everybody else. So you can't tell me that I'm hating because I wanted a rematch like everybody else did. Raw Dog, does beating Lima at 154 make him the man at that division? The man at that division right now is Sebastian Fondora. Al Booger, I heard a little bit watching Forrest get beat down, man. And it's the same thing. Styles just make fights. And Mayorga style just gave him problems. It just gave him problems. Yoda, Roach will be first fighter to sit Pitbull down. Look, man, people, I don't even understand how you could watch Lamar Roach do what he did to Tank Davis and still somehow not understand that Lamar Roach is special too. He's one of them type of fighters. I don't need to see any more. Yeah, boy Ryan, I'm coming. I'm going. I'm coming. I don't need to see any more. Okay, to know that Tank Davis, that Lamar Roach is a special fighter. If you need to see more, good morning, Ryan. Give me a hug. Give me a hug. I love you too. What you watching? Oh.
A dinosario.
You watching the dinosaur? Oh, that's the mouse. Yeah, sit down right there. Stay in front of the fan, Ryan. Remember the mosquitoes. Ryan, in front of the fan. Right there. Right there. My peoples, to those of you who just tuned in, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Yo, listen. The hate for Jerome Boots Ennis gotta stop. They gotta stop. Guy 28 years old. Unified champion in the welterweight division. Now, campaigning at 154. Ready to take everything. And people already decided that they're gonna jump on the I hate Boots bandwagon. Come on, man. There's no need for that, my people. Because you know what? I want you to think about this. Think about what people were saying when Terrence Crawford was at the welterweight division. Oh, he didn't fight nobody. Oh, he didn't beat nobody. Oh, he has to already fight the best. We tired of it. And look where Terrence Crawford is right now. And I'm making that comparison for you guys because Terrence Crawford is 38 years old. Jerome Bruce Ennis is 28 years old. So rewind the clock 10 years and see what people were saying about Terrence Crawford back then. And you realize that they're saying the same things about Boots now. So in case you're not understanding it, Boots is headed, for superstar power. People measuring, judging him, judging his career the same way that they judge the great fighters. So wait for it. Wait for it. And like I told you, Boots, he made, that fight in the division. But what you think is gonna be next? You think he's gonna keep fighting, tune-ups? Nah. You're gonna see Jerome Bruce Ennis going for the big dogs in the division. Hopefully we get Jerome Bruce Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz early 2026. Like I said before, that fight does not need to marinate anymore. We wanted it at 147. It couldn't happen. Virgil couldn't stay in the division for health reasons. Well, guess what? Now they both at 154. They both have experience in that division. Make it happen. We want that fight. Bree, Boots about to get way more shine now that he's with Eddie Hearn. Facts. I mean, I've seen people, somebody was here earlier saying, Boots made a mistake being with Hearn because of this and that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Boots has only become a bigger star the last few years. His profile has gone up. So obviously, when it comes to being promoted, they're doing a great job with him. Yoda, only want to see Boots fight top 5 in the division for now on. I think that's what we're going to see. I think that's exactly what we're going to see. Yoda, Boots going to try and fight Bozichuk next. Watch. I don't know what's going to happen next. What I will tell you is that we're not going to see him fighting any more tune-ups. Like I mentioned to you guys, Bozy himself told me, we going after everybody. It's not something that I'm just making up or I just think. Literally told me those words. Jay, we going after everybody in 154. Oh, come on now. We can't say this guy who accomplished, who won a couple of titles at welterweight, who's making a tune-up, let's now crucify him. Huh? Come on, man. Come on, my peoples. Come on, my people. Come on. We have to understand. Jerome Bruce Ennis, up until this point, what we've seen him do is win. And win in spectacular fashion. Tank has gotten, a pass for doing exactly that. I've had people tell me, I don't care how Tank wins. I mean, I don't care who he fights. As long as he's going to knock him out and look good, give us a highlight, that's all I want to see. Why is it different now? Yoda, Eddie going to try and milk the cow. I don't know what you mean by that. Raw Dog, selling Lima as a chicken salad. When he was chicken, it's what Eddie does. Agent 17. First thing out your mouth, it's about how human doesn't look perfect. I mean, what can I tell you, man? What can I tell you? Like, are we for real? Sometimes people just need a break. Agent 17, is that Crazy Izzy, Canelo, Crawford, and Keyshawn, all cheaters from your POV? Golly. The veggie salad is in the building. Brian Romero, who you think wins, Bulls versus Crawford, if they were to fight? I mean, if they were to fight right now, I got Crawford winning that fight. I got Crawford winning that fight. If they fight in a couple of years, I got Bulls winning it. Right now, I can't see nobody beating Crawford. But in a couple of years, I think Bulls got it. I don't think that fight will ever happen, though. I know people want to match them up with Crawford, fighting Canelo at 168. Boots making his debut at 154. Crawford already said he's never going back down to that division. I know Boots is going to stick around for a while because they're going to try to grab all the titles. So my perception is by the time Boots leave 154, Crawford won't even be active anymore. He'll be retired by that time. The Hydro Grind, please pull up Tank Box Rack and tell me which of the last 10 fights have been against easy opposition. Breed, no, the Hydro Grind, please pull up Tank's Box Rack and tell me in the last 10 fights which one was Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney, or Teofimo Lopez. You tell me that. Breed, why is boxing losing its name in the USA? I mean, Eddie promote boxers better, just like the Arab in Saudi. Why? They all shady in the States. I mean, I think they're doing a great job promoting in the States. If you look at Oscar De La Hoya, if you look at Bob Arum, if you look at Salitas. So I think there's promoters that's doing their thing in the States, that they going hard. It's just that right now, Turkey's on a run. And Eddie Hearn is on a run. But, there's a lot of promoters that are doing great. Yoda, before Eddie lets Boots fight anything close to a 50-50 fight, he gonna get his money out of Boots. It's what I mean by milking the cow. I mean, I don't know why you feel that way. I don't see it that way. I think that he believes Boots can beat anybody, so he's gonna let him fight anybody. Age of 17, boxing isn't as big for us boxers, Breed. Side, when Bud retires, get ready to hear Eddie Hearn say Bud retired to duck Boots. I mean, I don't think so. They're not even going to be in the same division. So that's not really going to make sense. Age of 17, we don't have to Mike Tyson, Will Power anymore, Breed. Breed, nobody will might milk the cow more than Money May. Side, facts, agent. Look, I'm going to say this. What I look at in a promoter is, are you making people successful? Are you making talented people successful? I want you guys to notice the perspective with Eddie Hearn and Boots. Oh, nah, he's just milking him. He's just milking him. He's not putting him with nobody that's 50-50. But how many people are out there saying that with Tank Davis? How many people are saying, yo, they milking him because they not putting him with 50-50 fights? There's some 50-50 fights for Tank out there. Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo, Devin. Him moving up and challenging champions at a higher division. There's some fights. But why that energy for Boots and Eddie Hearn? Why not that same energy for Tank Davis and Ellaby or Tank Davis and Al? There's a big difference in the way we measuring them. Last warning, Jay Smith with another one. Hit the like button. I mean, come on. Over an hour, I didn't even reach 20 likes. The algorithm is against me. The people is against me. But we're going to do it anyways. We're going to do it anyways. Listen, man. I'm going to tell you guys like this. My expectations are that this year, Jerome Bruce Ennis is going to become a champion in the 154 division. He's going to become a champion in the 154 division. So, soon enough, the guy's going to be a 2-division champion. And I already know. It's like, no, but you didn't beat a big star. We need you to be a big star for it to actually matter and for it to count to us. But what I want you to understand, my peoples, is that history books don't record opinions. History books don't record what we think about a guy. It records, did you become a champion? Did you unify titles? Did you become a champion in multiple divisions? Did you beat highly ranked opponents? And Boots is going to be checking all the boxes. Your opinion is not going to be able to change that. He's going to be checking the boxes. Right now, he's a unified welterweight champion, campaigning at 154. The moment he grabs a strap, he's a two-division champion. So just remember, when you say Boots ain't beat nobody, what you really mean is that he didn't beat nobody that you know. You don't become a unified and two-division champions by beating nobody. That's just ignorance. He didn't beat nobody that you know. He didn't beat nobody that's famous. But he's gonna keep accomplishing, and people are gonna keep hating until he get a name in the ring. Breed. Boots is on a mission. Of course. He's on a mission. He's going after everything. You saw him calling names right after the tune-up, calling everybody out. Really about that smoke. West does it. I'd be excited if Charlo took the call out. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm confused because I thought that Mel Charlo was going to fight Errol. Wasn't that fight supposed to happen? Jamel Charlo and Errol Spence? I don't know. But Boots versus Charlo, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. Look, I would like to see Boots versus Xander Sayers, or versus Charlo, versus Sebastian Fundora, and I would like to see Boots versus Bakram Mortasaliev. Ooh, that's a fight. That's a fight. West Dustin, Errol been teasing for 2 years. I mean, you can't force a guy to come back. He got to come back. And he said it before. He said, I'll come back when I'm ready. So if he comes back, he's taking his time. Breed, Boots Charlo. I like that fight. I like that fight. Does Charlo want that action? I don't know. Last warning, AJ Smith, if you could change or add anything to boxing, what would it be? That's a great question, bro. If I could change or add anything to boxing, I would modify the scoring and judging system. Number one, I would have open scoring so that every round, after the round, when the judges score it, you see it on the screen. The crowd, the fighters, everybody see the score on the screen. That's number one. And number two, after the fight, if a judge has a card that is too lopsided, based on what we saw in the ring, that is too different, we got to sit down with that judge. And they have to explain how did they come up with that card. Like, let's say we have a fight where two judges gave it 10 rounds to 2. And the other judge gave the fight to the other fighter. It's like, wait a minute. The other two judges got a blowout over here. How you got this guy winning? Now we need to sit down. You need to explain this card. You need to figure. So I think there could be some changes to make it a better system. Just like the scoring system. The problem with the scoring system is that it's subjective. It's left to your opinion. So think about this. If one fighter lands 10 punches that are really hard and another fighter lands 15 punches but they wasn't that hard, now you're going to be left with that decision as a judge. Am I going to score for the guy that landed the harder punches? Am I going to score for the guy that landed more punches and had that movement? So it becomes something that is an opinion. With the technology that we have now, we could make it to where It could be scored based on the actual punches that you landed, the clean punches that you landed, the punches that you slipped. It could be scored based on a criteria that laser can just literally be a laser on the fighters. Lasers that will count every punch, record every punch, and then you can decide who win based on that. Because something people don't know, box rec is not 100% accurate, my peoples. Box rec is literally somebody pressing buttons. I mean, not box rec, punch stats. The punch stat, my peoples, is somebody pressing button. Hit, miss, hit, miss, hit, miss. That's it. You think when a fighter go in and they go pop, 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 you think pop, 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 that that person pressed every button correctly? Yeah, CompuBox. That's not 100% accurate. CompuBox is close. It gets you close. It gives you more or less an idea. But it's not 100% accurate. You can't dictate who won or lost based on CompuBox numbers. It's impossible. It's impossible to score it perfect. Not only that, something that a lot of people don't realize, when you see the stats, the punches that they show you, punches missed and punches landed, right? But the punches landed do not differentiate between punches that landed clean and punches that were partially blocked, for example. So you could look at the punch stats, the CompuBox, and it could say that a fighter landed 10 punches, but when you're actually watching the video, 7 of those punches was like this. They didn't land flush, and they count as landed. But then the other fighter only landed 5 punches, but those 5 was like boo, 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 boo. They won the fight. They landed the clean shots. So I think, to answer that question, what I would change in boxing, I would change the scoring system so that the winner wins every single time. Get opinion out of the way. Right now, the scoring system is about opinion. Get opinion out of the way. In the well, let me not say not get it out of the way, but include technology to help come up with that opinion. Incorporate it. I would do that. JJ's in their house. 34 watching and only 18 likes. Damn, man. Doing me in like the Peruvians. Jason William. And I think certain top people in sports, like human error, it gives them space to still be able to manipulate the outcome. That's the thing. When you put human error into the equation, at some time or at some point, you're going to question whether or not it's a human error or if it was done deliberately. That's why with the technology that we have now, there's a lot of things that could be fixed. Like, I'll give you an example. If they use technology to determine what's a knockdown, Tank Davis would not have gotten away with taking that knee. That would have been a knockdown. And that would have been a point deduction. But because a person didn't score the knockdown and didn't remove the points, he got away with it. So there's little things that could be fixed in boxing that I think will make it better. And that would be one of them. Side, the Canelo versus Crawford punch that were too close. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. Because those left hooks that Canelo was throwing, that Crawford was blocking them, those count as landed punches. He's hitting your arm hard. Boom. That's a landed punch. That's the way that they count it. So you could never use CompuBox numbers to dictate who won a fight or who lost it. That's meaningless. I mean, it could give you an idea. It could give you an idea, like, okay, more or less, I know what happened. But ultimately, my people, you actually have to watch the fight to know who won. You don't know who won a fight like that. Jason Williams, side, it wasn't. Look, I'm gonna just say at this point, Jerome Booth Ennis, if we look at his career overall, they doing a great job. They doing a great job in putting together a resume. He's already a unified champion in the welterweight division. And I expect him to grab a belt and start the process of unifying at 154. So we could knock him. We could knock him. We could hate on him. But at the end of the day, 28 years old, already accomplishing in the sweet science, I can only expect him to keep doing more. Last warning, I think showing the score every round would be dope. That's a great idea. It I think it's a great idea because if you have a big screen and everybody sees the score, that puts the judges on the spot. Like, when you put that score in there, everybody in the arena is gonna see it, the fighters are gonna see it. So that's gonna push you to make sure you do your very best to score that. And if a guy get beat up in a round and they get scored for the other guy, everybody's gonna see it real time on the spot. Like, oh, he just scored the fight for this dude. Everybody gonna know. Last warning, hell yeah. And make the losing fighter try harder to win. I'm gonna tell you what, man. If they was to score the fight openly, I can see boxing fans and even fighters be happy about it. That that's an idea that if it was floated to the boxing commissions and they see how fighters would react to it, how fans would, because it also makes it more interesting. If it's open scoring and we're all watching the score, it makes it more interesting too. Imagine you bet for this guy to win the fight and it's super close on the cards. And you're watching round number 11, they slugging it out, and you're just watching the cards to see who's winning those last two rounds. It would bring a different emotion into boxing. Watching the cards would be like you watching the Super Bowl, and you're looking at the time, you're looking at the score, you're looking at everything in the last few seconds. That would be crazy. West does an instant replay could happen between rounds. Yeah, but instant replay is something that they don't exercise enough in boxing anyways. They don't exercise that. You see them use it sometimes, but I don't think that they exercise it enough. And instant replay also slows down the sport. If you use AI to track everything, you don't need instant replay. The instant replays will only be used for highlights. But AI can track everything. Every single punch that lands clean, AI can track it. Every punch that you slip, AI can track it. They could literally do a point system. Punch land flush in the face, 3 points. Land flush to the body, 2 points. Partially blocked, 1 point. Partially blocked, 1 point. You slip a punch, 1 point. You do a scoring system and then you have lasers and AI track it. And at the end of the fight, you literally have a winning score based on who landed more punches and who did better overall. You literally have a winning score. Bam, look, this guy. And the replays, you can go back and watch all of everything that lands flush. And I'm gonna tell you something. We're gonna be seeing changes and differences in boxing because Turkey now has, and Dana, they got that TKO league, and they're gonna have some type of some different rules. You see that they have their own belt, their own league, and I said it from the beginning. Having their own league is gonna bring a whole different dynamic. First of all, they're gonna be on that side of the street. They're not gonna be fighting, and that's my assumption. that they just gonna be on that side of the street because they already said that they're not gonna recognize the WBC, WBA, WBO, IBF. They're not gonna recognize them. So how is this new league gonna play out in boxing? Last warning. Yes, it's that time for things to change with boxing. We're gonna see how it plays out. But I gotta tell you, my peoples, Dana White and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh, they have a tough uphill battle. Don't get it twisted. You're going up against the big dogs. All you have is money. But money doesn't always make it. And I want you to think about this. How many competitors have attempted to take on the NFL? And those football leagues have millions and millions tied behind them. And they failed. They collapsed. Why? Because the NFL is ingrained in American culture since, what is it, the 50s, the 60s? I don't know, but the NFL is part of American culture. Football Sunday, football Thursday, Thursday night football, Sunday night football, the Super Bowl. So when other leagues try to come in, yeah, we're gonna play football too. We got this. We got a lot of money behind us. They just couldn't bring the core NFL fans over there. Some did, some did, but again, the popularity, they just couldn't do it. So people think automatically, well, this league is gonna blow because Dana White and Turkey and the money. We gotta see it happen first. Because people are not gonna stop watching the best fighters. And the best fighters are not gonna be in TKO and Super Boxing. They're not gonna have the champions over there. They're not gonna have the pound for pound guys for I don't know how long before they start signing that type of talent. People are not gonna be, looking forward to getting a Zuffa belt for a very long time. So don't get it twisted, my peoples. It is an uphill battle for Dana White and His Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh. Especially in this era where guys get one loss and they get crucified, and y'all gonna sign a bunch of guys with a bunch of losses. It's gonna take some time before it catches up. Vision Omega. Ayo, peace, peoples. Jason Williams. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they're going to add different things to it because they can't compete with boxing straight up. There has to be a catch to it. I mean, the catch to it is that they're gonna make a lot of fights. They're gonna make all of the guys that are the best within the outfit. They're gonna have all of the best fight each other to make a lot of competitive fight. I think that what they're gonna cling on to in the beginning is entertaining fights, the entertainment value. So you're not getting two big names, you're not getting two world champions, but you're getting two guys that are gonna give you a big fight. They're gonna have, Turkey's gonna have everybody under pressure over there that he don't want no Mickey Mouse or Tom and Jerry boxing. So give me a second, my people. My peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Give me a second, my peoples. I gotta help my son out. I'll be right back with y'all. My peoples. My peoples. JJ's in there has in the building. West does it. Take the time to tap that like while we wait, my peoples. It helps get the content out. I appreciate it, my brother. I appreciate it. I don't know what it is, man. People just don't hit that like button, man. I be on with y'all for 2 hours sometimes. 17 likes. It's like, god damn, how the hell did 2,000 people tune in? And it was 17 likes. Like, is most of you Tank Davis fans that are mad at me? I love Tank Davis, yo. Real talk. Underrated Will. Boost fight Bud. Boost fight Bud is over. I mean, that fight will never happen. So, I know underrated Will. Crawford doing what he did to Canelo. You want to see him fight somebody that you think could beat him. But that fight, I just don't think is going to happen. I would like to see it. Or it's over for Boots. um, I would love to have seen that fight. I thought it could have happened in the welterweight division. It did not. But honestly, I'm done because I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't wanna sell you false hope on a fight that I don't think will happen. And you know what? If I could have asked Bozy, I would have asked him about that fight. But I didn't think of it. Sad. If only Bud was still 30. That's the thing, man. The difference in age. You're talking about Boost is 28. Crawford is 38. One guy is about to, his star power is right there on the verge of exploding. The other guy is close to retirement. They're multiple divisions apart. That's it. Like, that ship has sailed. I don't think that fight is gonna happen. I would have loved to see it. Even right now, I'd love to see it. But it is what it is, my peoples. You gotta deal with it. Um, Y'all already know, man. Before I get the hell out of here, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. West Dusset, Cy, Underrated Will, JJ's in their house was in the building. Superman was also in the building. Jason William, Vision Omega. Who else was in the building? Cy. Last warning. Everybody else who tuned in, man. Agent 17 was definitely in his house. Everybody who tuned in, everybody who hit the like button, even the people who didn't hit the like button, who was ghost watching. I appreciate every one of you, my peoples. Y'all already know what it is. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. And before I get out of here, I got to give you my word of the day, right? Y'all don't let me skip out on that. I ended the show without giving you guys the word of the day. And I got shredded. People hitting me up privately. Yo, what's good, Jay? You're not blessing us with the Jay Stradamus words of the day. Come on now. Y'all ready for them Jay Stradamus words of the day? Here we go, my peoples. Get ready, because I'm about to drop some diamonds on you. About to drop some jewels on y'all. You could thank me later. Remember that. Let me move away because I got the TV sound in the background. And I really want you guys to listen to this. This is very important for you to pay attention to. Always remember that you never truly know somebody while they are down. If somebody needs your help, they're always going to be nice. They're always going to be humble. They're always going to be your guy. They're always going to rock for you when they need you. But when they don't need you anymore, that might change. That respect, that love, all of that might change. You can actually take years to get to really know somebody because the only version of that person that you know is the humble person who's messed up in the game and needs you. So don't judge how somebody is while they down. Because when people are down, they'll be willing to kiss your ass. But when they up, it could be a different story. So I'm not saying you shouldn't mess with, you shouldn't deal with somebody who's down. All I'm saying is, if you convince yourself this is the coolest guy ever, the coolest person ever, when they was down, you might be disappointed when they go up. Because you're going to find out that they was only acting like that because they was down and they needed you. So again, never judge somebody for who they are while they down or while they need you. People are the best when they need you. But when they don't need you, when somebody doesn't need nothing from you, that's how you know who they really are. If somebody don't need nothing from you and they rocking with you, that's how you know what they about. Because I promise you, there's some people out there right now, today, there's some people out there who you think they your peoples and they not. Not necessarily that they need you, but they not your peoples, even though you think. And it's gonna take years for something to happen for you to say, oh shit, I didn't know this person was like this. God damn. Shit. So those are my words of the day for you, my peoples. Do not judge anyone when they down and out, because when everybody's down, everybody's humble, everybody's willing to do anything for you, everybody is your guy. But then they get up and it's, I'm telling you, and I've seen it, I lived it myself multiple times. I lived it. I'm trying to tell you this by experience. Sometimes you just got to get older for you to see for yourself. There's people that I really knew who they was after knowing them for 10 years, for 15 years, shit like that. That you think the person is like this, but they only playing this character to get to you, to get you to do something for them. And once they don't need you anymore, they're not gonna play that character no more. That's it. The respect that you thought they had for you, you're not gonna see it no more. The humbleness, you're not gonna see it no more. JJ's in there. Words of the day. He who farts sits alone. Kobe, I want to see Booth versus Zayas first instead of Virgil. I like that fight. I like that fight. Booth versus Zayas is a fight that I really like. Is Zayas ready for it though? I don't know. I don't know. My peoples, once again, I appreciate every one of you tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Boxing for Breakfast. You know what it is, man. Tomorrow, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be talking boxing. Yo, y'all need to stop hating on Boost, man. I'm out of here. One love to everybody. Peace.